Living in Las Vegas starts now. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome from Las Vegas, Nevada. That was happening. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. It's your pal, Scott Whitney, here with a special end-of-year version of a Living in Las Vegas podcast. Welcome. So here's the scoop. My schedule this week, beginning yesterday, has been wacky, just crazy. And as a result, I'm not going to be able to do my regularly scheduled Tuesday night program. On Tuesday, we're shooting another Vegas Video Network show that's going to push into my time, and I just don't have time the rest of the week. And then the last week of December, we always take that week off to kind of recharge for the new year. But I did want to spend some time talking to you guys, so I'm carving out some time now to do it. By the way, a quick story about the schedule starting Sunday, as I mentioned. Talk about an only in Vegas thing. So Sunday morning, we did a live stream Las Vegas gig at a church sermon. We do this the first and third Tuesdays of every month. So 9 o'clock start. We're there at 7 o'clock in the morning, basically. And by the way, if you're a friend of mine on Facebook, check out a link to Pastor Carter's stuff. This guy is, I think, one of the most charismatic preachers I've ever seen. It's amazing. Anyway, so Sunday morning, I'm sharing the Word of God. Sunday evening from 8 o'clock p.m. to midnight, I'm over at the Sand Dollar Bar, which is a real popular dive bar here in Las Vegas. And I was hired by the United States Bartenders Guild of Las Vegas to shoot their event. Now, the event was an awards event. It was a multi-camera thing, and they wanted us to shoot it inside the bar, but also project it on a big monitor in a courtyard behind them so everybody could see what was happening. And what was cool is the content. Yes, we had a couple bands, and that was fine. But what was really interesting is Sunday morning church, Sunday evening, drag queens and burlesque. Only in Vegas. Well, that was a late night. We wrapped up at midnight, got back to the studio, and ended up home by 2 in the morning. So Monday morning came early, but again, I'm here. I'm a trooper for you. So what do I want to talk about? 3 things that we're going to be doing in 2019 for the Living in Las Vegas podcast. The first thing came about as I recognized the value of the Have a Drink on Me meetings that we do, the HADA meetings. So what usually happens in these meetings as we're having a drink at a bar, maybe Sand Dollar Bar, is I get asked a number of questions. And a lot of times these questions are really appropriate for topics for living in Las Vegas. And we've done that a couple of times, but not that often. And I kept thinking to myself, God, you guys are smart. I'm really impressed. So we're going to change the way we create topics moving forward. From now on, all topics on the Living in Las Vegas podcast will be audience generated. You will decide what it is we talk about here on the show. So how do you decide? Well, you send me an email with that information. onairq@livinginlv.com. Again, onairq@livinginlv.com. Send me your ideas for shows, and we'll put them in the queue and put them to work for you. Now, we've shared this idea already with the live chat folks. The feedback was good. We've already received a number of ideas, so we've got some stuff already planned for 2019. But I look forward to hearing what you have to say as well. Again, onairq@livinginlv.com. I'm not tired at all. Number 2 item. And this item came about as a growth idea from within the live chat. I've said this many times. The live chat is magic if you're an online broadcaster. We've created a real community there. And this is no bullshit. We have people, it's not uncommon for folks to show up an hour before the show so that they can catch up with each other. And it's a very open and inviting group. Last week we had, I think, 3 new people in the live chat, and we had people like Pops and Ted and Mike and Phase Jitter and Mad Chipmunk all being very approachable and inviting. It's pretty cool stuff. But one of the powers of live chat is interacting with them during the show. Now, often what I'll do is I'll start the show, actually pre-show before we actually start officially, and ask them if there's any questions they want me to answer during the show, and I'll bring those in. But what's really fun is while we're talking about a topic, getting their feedback as the topic progresses. So sometimes they agree and sometimes they disagree, and sometimes it's just opinions that are fun to bring in and talk about. But it again occurred to me that you guys are pretty interesting. There's a lot of cool people out there doing neat stuff. And so what we're going to do is we're going to add you to the show. To me, it's just a logical step. You are going to be on the show. How? Well, via Skype or another online video conferencing technology we use for live stream Las Vegas. But I want to share the stage with you. I'm fascinated by you, and I want you to be a part of this. So how do you get on the show? It's the same thing as before. onairq@livinginlv.com. Just send an email. Let me know that you'd like to be on the show. And if you have a particular topic, include that as well. That'd be fantastic. But we may have a topic that you provide, or maybe another topic that I just want you to play along with. But I think it'll be a lot of fun getting the people from around the world to be a part of the show while we're shooting the show. And then the third thing I want to talk about before we wrap up is a concept of premium content, which is a fancy marketing term for paid content. I've talked about this a bit with the live chat folks, and I may have mentioned it once or twice here on the show, but we've been thinking about doing this for some time. The issue for me has always been the type of content. There's a lot of podcasts that are doing this now, doing paid content either through Patreon or something else. What they tend to do is the bonus episode idea, where it's just basically more of the same, and that wasn't very attractive to me. So I wanted to come up with another idea, and I think I did. But it's predicated on some technology being available, which was just recently announced. It's just begun to ship, but the reviews are kind of iffy. So I'm not quite clear if what I want to do is doable yet. But the idea is to provide tourists with inside scoop that is otherwise unavailable anywhere. I've seen people attempt this idea, and nobody has done it very well. What we're looking at doing would be unmatched in being able to provide, again, primarily tourists, an opportunity to come here in Vegas and have insight that's just not possible unless you live here, and unless you live here and go down to the Strip or elsewhere a lot. So that's the plan. I don't really know what we're going to charge for it. I don't know how we're going to distribute it. We're probably going to do a build-it-yourself kind of thing. Like I said, I won't do Patreon. But I'm not sure if we're going to do what most folks do in weekly content, or I might take a Netflixian approach and just put it all out there and let you consume it at will. But hopefully that's going to be coming out in 2019 as well. All right, that's it. Happy holidays, everybody. Hope you have a safe and very fun New Year's Eve. And as we've done in the past, it's been a while now, I'm going to leave you with a couple songs from the Chris McCustick and Chris McCustick CD. Take care.